Stop in at PharmaSave today. Oh, and pick up your PharmaSave coupon value book. Now remember,
get it at the PharmaSave price. SCTV, we're coming through for you.
Good morning. British Columbia has what is probably the finest medical health care scheme in North America. What costs you $20,000 or $100,000 cash up front if you're not insured in the United States, you get here for your taxes and your premium to the government scheme. We are facing a major crisis. The government says we're going to cap the costs of payments to doctors at around $850 million a year, and these payments have doubled in the past 5 years. And what does Dr. Jerry Stewart, president of the BCMA, say in response to that particular proposition?
We're trying to, and we understand that they have a problem. We all have a problem in society. But the recommendation to curb and cap is, in our opinion, the beginning of the end of fee-for-service, because in fact that, in our estimation, is the way to get quality care.
What he's saying is that the beginning of the end of quality care, because the government wants to cap the payments to doctors at $850 million. Jim Nielsen, the Minister of Health, is here this morning, and we shall tackle him on these particular specifics about the doctor's fee-for-service capability at this moment. Later in the program, we're going to have a total, and perhaps to you, unexpected change of pace. We're going to meet a 23-year-old girl from the Metropolitan Centre of Consort, Alberta, whom they tell me is the hottest thing in Canadian music right now. K.D. Lang, all lowercase. And she's going to give us a hootenanny wingding daddy-o of a good time. Watch K.D. Lang.
Don't stop the world and let me on. I'm tired of going around and round. Life is a game of love and round. So stop the world and let me on.
She is, by the way, also the reincarnation of Patsy Cline. She is so too. She is so too.
Boy, George, maybe.
Back to business with Jim Nielsen on a deadly serious business of the crisis of the medical profession in British Columbia after the break. The budget for health care in British Columbia this year is something like $3 billion. Dr. Stewart of the BCMA was on this program the other day saying that the government's proposition to cap the fees was a threat to the fee-for-patient service and to quality care of people in British Columbia, and that the proposition to control all billing numbers would shatter their freedom. Have you made a firm decision in your negotiation with the doctors right now that come hell or high water, the amount of money being paid to doctors for examinations and tests will be no more than $850 million?
We haven't come up with a number for 85, 86 yet, Jack. 850 million is approximately what the costs were last year, or this current year. And that would be one of the figures we would use, I suppose, as a base. But we haven't offered a number as yet. We're negotiating with the doctors to see if they would agree to a capping concept, a capping formula of some kind. They have not yet embraced that concept.
But is your decision made that a capping concept, subject to negotiations, will eventually be applied?
I'm very confident that there will be a capping concept in BC for the medical service plan at some point in time. Yes, it'll either be done cooperatively or it might be done in other ways.
How much, why are you doing this? How much of the payments to the doctors jumped in the last 4 or 5 years?
I guess in excess of 50%, Jack. I'd have to look at my numbers.
I put it to you that they've doubled.
More than that. I'm sorry, 118%. Yeah, 395 million to 863 million in the past 5 years.
Right now, what will the capping, Stuart and the others tell me that the capping will very seriously damage fee-for-service. In other words, I put it to the doctors that at the moment, with the unrestricted fee-for-service and payment for everything on 100% of their fee schedule, that they have a blank check to do as they wish with costs. Am I being too unfair on the doctors?
I think most of the doctors build the plan quite properly, and many of them do not aggressively seek business. But that really is little consolation to us. We have to establish an amount of money we anticipate the medical service plan will pay in a given year. What we're asking the doctors to do is to work with us with a formula to ensure we stay within that budget. And hopefully the budget would be a reasonable budget. It would be a good estimate of what the costs will be. And we're asking the doctors to accept a formula which would modify the percentage paid to them for each service on a quarterly review basis so we can stay within budget. What some have suggested is a complete erroneous concept of what capping would do. The plan will not run out of money. It may be that some doctors at some point in time during the year will not receive 100% of the fee schedule. Rather than paying a doctor $100 for a certain procedure, they could receive, as an example, $95 or $94, $93 or $97. And quality care will not be modified because which doctor will provide less quality care to a patient because they're receiving a couple of dollars less than they otherwise might.
Will there be any interference with my right to go to a doctor or the doctor's right in terms of numbers of visits to see me?
No.
None whatsoever?
No. Jerry Stewart the other day mentioned that you might be limited to which doctor you can go to because, well, you are now. There's only so many doctors in Vancouver, and those are the doctors you go to. But no, you go to the doctor of your choice, as we have in our system. And if the doctor feels it's necessary for you to undergo these tests or have these procedures, that's what is done.
You seem to be using the kind of velvet glove this morning, Mr. Nielsen. I'll tell you what the doctors think of you.
Oh, I know.
They think that you are arguing that they are well paid.
They are well paid.
Greedy.
No, they're not greedy.
Uncaring.
They're not uncaring.
That your position is rigid and non-negotiable. First, absolute control over billing numbers.
Yes. I think that's quite proper. Medical services plan should have control over billing numbers, yes.
That will deny the freedom of the doctors to enter British Columbia or sell their practices.
No, a doctor can enter British Columbia. If a doctor were to phone me today and wish to practice in BC, I'm sure I could find a spot for him.
But I'm told that will cost you $400,000 for each doctor added to the list of those in MSP.
Approximately.
Are you saying right now that there's room for more doctors in British Columbia?
In certain parts of the province, sure. We're under-doctored in northern areas, remote areas. Not everyone can practice in Vancouver.
You have a case before the courts.
Sure.
But I must ask you, and you can refuse to answer, does this mean direction of doctors to areas where needed?
No. That is a choice of a doctor to go where he wishes to go. We could advise a doctor who wishes to practice in British Columbia that there is a need for a doctor, as an example, in Prince Rupert or in Terrace or in Prince George or somewhere else. And there's always the need for certain specialties in these more remote areas because people are not attracted to those areas. But we do need the services of certain physicians.
And your rigid control of billing numbers gives you that flexibility?
It offers us some control over what is an unlimited plan at the moment.
The doctors say they could negotiate with you perfectly well on medical manpower and come to an agreement.
I don't know why we should negotiate. I don't think it's a negotiable item. We will sit down and talk to them and discuss it. But I don't know where they presume they have authority to negotiate.
They also say that your proposal, your twofold proposal on capping and billing numbers, destroys, let me get it right, the basic principle of fee-for-service, high-quality care, freedom of choice, and an independent medical profession.
That is perhaps the ultimate in self-serving statements. It's wrong, it's completely wrong, and it's very self-serving. If you've read the rest of that letter, I read that letter and I didn't know whether to cry or laugh. I couldn't believe the language in it, particularly the statement that the government will attempt to justify your destruction, speaking to other doctors, justify your destruction by arguing you are well-paid, greedy, and uncaring. I have repeatedly said doctors in BC are well paid, but I have never said they're greedy or uncaring. And we're not out to destroy the medical profession. What would we do? Try and duplicate their services ourselves?
It also says here that they've suggested a 2-year agreement with no agreement in the first year, which is
No.
the year just passed.
Yes.
Did they get an increase in the year just passed?
Not in the year, not the year we're in. Not 84, 85.
Five.
They received an increase in 83, 84.
4%.
4.2%, which, Jack, the 4.2%, however, resulted in, what was it? There was a 4.2%, but it was actually a 13% increase in cost.
In other words, 4.2% increase in
fees.
wage, and because of the fee for service going up, utilization going up,
And population.
and population, there was a
13%.
13% increase in your
And
budget.
cost, yes. What we're trying to do, Jack, is negotiate with the doctors and say, look, for 1985-86, we will put in 850 million or 900 million or 800 million in the medical service plan. Let's work out a system whereby we can guarantee the government that that will be the maximum expenditure. And it may cost a few bucks for a few doctors, not necessarily less than they made last year. They can still make more than they made last year. We're not saying a doctor should earn less than he did last year, but he may not receive, or she may not receive, 100% payment for every service rendered during the year.
Seems clear. More with Jim Nielsen, Minister of Health, after the break. I'm with Jim Nielsen, the Minister of Health for the Government of British Columbia, and it is obvious there is now a face-to-face confrontation because the doctors have no contract for the current year and no contract for next year. What is your deadline to settle this arbitrarily if you can't come to an agreement?
Well, Jack, I understand the negotiating teams are meeting once again. I think it's later this week. We hope we can come up with an agreement. They met last week, I believe it was. And we hope that the BCMA will agree to join us in a capping program of some kind. Failing that, the contract, the master agreement we have calls for notice to be given by one of the two parties and a 1-year period after that where it stays as is for a year, then it expires completely. So
What would happen then?
well, then it would be up to the medical service plan to determine what the fees are.
Without any consultation
Sure.
whatsoever.
It could
Now,
be done unilaterally. Then.
The doctors were quite strong on the program last week that they want a deterrent fee for doctors' visits, overutilization by payments. And I think the figure of $25 was mentioned. So first of all, would you consider deterrent fees to cut down the utilization or to gain money to help pay the doctor's bills?
If there were ever a deterrent fee established, it would not be to provide the money to the doctor. That would be a concept of extra billing. A deterrent fee at the moment is prohibited by the Canada Health Act, at least to the point where it costs you directly that amount of money. So if you were to pay a doctor $5, we, the province of BC, would lose the $5 from the sharing program with Ottawa. So in effect, it is prohibited by the federal government now. Deterrent fees could have some effect. It is not accepted under our Medicare system in Canada at the moment. Doctors have said deterrent fees, and we listen to them, but it is not for the doctors to impose deterrent fees.
Would you encourage the Conservative Minister of Health, Jake Epps, to go for user fees and deterrent fees as a way of cutting the total cost of national health in this country?
I think the federal government should permit provinces to make their own decisions, and I think user fees, as we have in hospitals now, should be permitted, in fact encouraged. It adds some revenue to the hospitals, it provides them with additional revenue. I don't think there's much of a deterrent factor when you pay $8.50 for an acute care bed. I don't think that's a deterrent factor at all. That'd probably cover your breakfast. So that isn't a deterrent factor, but it does provide some additional revenue to the hospitals.
Are you in favor of deterrent fees, though, broadly speaking, outside these negotiations for patients who overutilize the scheme?
No, I'm in favor of user fees such as we have in BC at the hospitals, emergencies, and some other circumstances. I think they're quite legitimate. I think premiums are very legitimate.
Now, I want you to compare the BC fee schedule, because you've got some dramatic figures on how much British Columbia would save if we were on the Ontario fee schedule or on the Quebec fee schedule.
Well, Jack, the fee schedule in British Columbia is the highest in the country. If we were using the Ontario fee schedule to pay our doctors, we would spend about $190 million less, about $190 million less than we pay right now.
You're joking.
No.
If we went to the Ontario fee schedule, which is 32% higher than, which is 32% lower than ours,
Right.
and ours is 32% higher than, you'd save 190 million.
Yes.
What about Quebec?
Quebec would save $350 million. $350 million.
How much higher is the BC schedule than the Quebec schedule?
According to the researchers in our ministry, it's 85% higher than the one in Quebec.
BC fee schedule is 85% higher than the one in Quebec, 32% higher than the one in Ontario, and you'd save on the Ontario one close on $200 million.
About $200 million. That is if the doctors in British Columbia providing the same services now were being paid at the Ontario rate, we would pay them $190 million less. Now, the doctors would argue they are not the highest paid in Canada, but they have the highest fee schedule.
Well, if
And that's what we pay, the fee schedule. Some of them may not bill as much as some of their counterparts in Ontario, but it's on the fee schedule basis we negotiate, not on the individual doctor at the moment.
You gave me a brief outline of how it might work. Could you give me that again, please? If you come to the capping concept neutrally or arbitrarily, how would the capping, if you say, we're picking the figure 850 million, for example, you say, I'm going to put aside 850 million max for people's visits to doctors and for tests under the system as an outpatient. Is that correct?
Yes.
How would that work again, please?
Jack, there are probably a half dozen or more ways you could do the capping. One example would be to review the amount of billing to the plan in the first quarter against the projection for the first quarter. Each quarter amount would be quite different because the demand varies from quarter to quarter. January to March probably one of the busiest. The June to September probably one of the least busy. So your amounts would be quite different. But you would review the amounts billed in that first quarter against your projection. And if it were 2 or 3 or 4 or 5% over, you could then modify the payment schedule in the second quarter to reflect that amount and try to recapture that amount in the second. So you might pay the fee schedule at 97% or 94 or 95, and then review it at the end of the second quarter and modify the next schedule of payments for the next quarter and into the fourth quarter, and
you might come out even at the end of the year, or you might be down 2%, or you might give them an extra 2%.
You never, well, no, it's unlikely we would increase it, but the last quarter could be up from the previous quarter to balance it off.
But you would spend your global capped amount on fees for service according to the maximum of the schedule.
No, that would be the maximum exposure. We wouldn't, if we at the end of the year appeared to have $20 million over surplus, we wouldn't distribute that to the doctors, no.
You'd keep that much?
Oh, yeah. The doctors are working now to reduce utilization. They are working on that. I'm not questioning that they're not. And there has been some improvement, and good for them. That's part of their responsibility as well. After all, it's taxpayers' dollars. They do extremely well as far as payments go. They're doing very, very well. It's a good system. We have no doctors in BC who have opted out.
None, not one.
No. There's a couple of physicians apparently who practice a slightly different type of medicine, which is not covered by the plan anyway. But none have opted out. Some have told me, well, they'll all go to the States. Where? Why would they leave their lovely home in West Vancouver or something and go down to Arkansas?
And they're guaranteed collections
Sure.
without any bad debts.
You're always going to get some physicians moving to Ontario or the United States or Europe. That's the nature of physicians, and that's the nature of doctors and other professional people. We can't keep them all here. We don't have a fence.
I'll give you a patient's concept, a general concept of many patients. Every time you go to a doctor, you get a battery of tests. So these batteries of tests breaking the system, too.
They're very, very costly.
Well, I mean, somebody said, why prescribe the $292 when a CAT scan will do?
Well, CAT scan is a very useful instrument. The lab tests in that, I think, are the highest rising factor within the medical service
Great
plan.
machine, though. Wonderful
CAT
machine.
scanner is a great machine.
And we can afford it, can't we?
Oh, we can afford them, sure.
Yeah. Now, would any doctor be restricted in his income on the global capping quarter by quarter formula? Would any doctor be restricted in what work he could do?
No. No.
There'll be no interference with the fee for service.
No, none whatever. It just may be that they may not be fully compensated for the amount on the fee-for-service. Jack, if I were to hire you to do a job for me and I've got a little extra work to do, we might negotiate that you do the second half for a slightly lower fee. That's not unusual in business. There's only so much money there, and we're quite determined to try to stay within that global amount, just as we do with the hospitals, just as we do with all the other branches within the ministry.
Are you attempting to destroy the medical service plan because of the well-paid, greedy, and uncaring doctors, using their phrases?
We're trying to ensure that the Medicare plan we have in Canada will continue, because the real danger is fiscal collapse right across Canada.
Is there such a danger?
Well, Jack, we're spending $3 billion a year now in BC, and we represent about 10% of Canada, so I would think the cost across the country is around $30 billion. You have to remember that Canadians at the present time are borrowing $38 billion or $35 billion a year just to keep the system going. Well, you better be careful about where you're spending your money. We can provide Canadians and British Columbians with the best health system in the world, but there's no need for it to run without controls of any kind. My God.
Nielsen tells Webster no more blank checks for doctors so that they can put up so that the cost of the scheme can go up 10, 15, 20, 25% a year.
We're going to try to cap it. I think it's a responsible thing. We provide hospitals with a global budget. We tell Vancouver General Hospital, we'll provide you with so many dollars. That's your budget for the year. Now you manage that hospital and stay within that budget. And we do this with all the hospitals. We intend to do that with the medical service plan as well.
Questions, your calls and questions. Keep them short and sharp, please, to Jim Nielsen, Minister of Health, after the break. This is the biggest crunch you've ever had as Minister of Health, is it not?
Oh, no. No. Biggest crunch was when I just went into the ministry in 1981, when I went up to Penticton and suffered in silence as I was abused by the outgoing or incoming president of the BCMA. That was probably the biggest crunch.
I've forgotten that. Go ahead to Jim Nielsen.
Oh, good morning. I've been a volunteer in a hospital for 4 years now, and I would like to know, why do we not have a lottery for hospitals?
Hold on. I'm looking for questions in relation to the doctors and fee capping and the global budget. We're not examining the whole hospital situation this morning.
Jack, just on the lotteries, because many people get confused. The amount of money the lotteries produce in BC would run our hospitals for about, our health system for 2 days.
That's the end of that one.
That's it.
Go ahead to Jim Nielsen.
Good morning. I'm just calling. I'm interested to know when you get a doctor's appointment, you go in, and sometimes I've been to the ones for 2-3 minutes, doctor doesn't touch me or anything, and I'm looking at a hospital Medicare bill right now that was paid out to him last year, and like $32.50 for that 2-3 minute visit, and I just find it hard to understand. I think a lot of money is wasted there, and if nobody's checking these out, I don't know how they're ever caught. You know, they can say what they wish to say. And
You've opened a subject there, but I don't know where you saw the cost of the doctor's visit. We don't get a printout of what we pay the doctors, do we?
Only if it's in the hospital.
Only if it's in the hospital.
Well, Jack, what we do, I'm sorry, I think what's happened is this is one of the people we send a copy to of all their medical service plan expenses. We send about $15,000 out a month, so he probably is reviewing. But, you know, there's much more. A doctor looks at you and he checks certain things out. After that, he may go in, check your charts and compare your blood pressure to previous and that. So there's more work involved than just the specific examination.
yeah, but you see what's happening to me is that insurance companies, they're saying you go to your doctor every week, and I go to my doctor and I'm not getting anything done.
Where are you going every week?
Well, they tell me I have to go every week and have these forms filled out. And even here, it cost me $17.50 to talk to a doctor. He filled the form out, charged me another $5 to fill the form out. Nothing's getting done. This, I haven't worked in 2 years because I haven't had proper care anywhere that I've been.
That sounds like a specific problem, does it not? Go ahead, please.
Yes, Mr. Nielsen, the last caller there hit the subject I was coming to right at the end there. He says he is not getting proper care. Is there anywhere in your service that if a patient feels he is not getting proper care, he can give a call and that doctor will not get paid for that service? such as you go get tires on your car and you're
Okay.
Any person who feels they've gone to a doctor and the plan's been billed or they've been billed and the service is inadequate or improper can notify us. We would then work in conjunction with the BCMA and the college with respect to that doctor. But Jack, again, you know, the reason we go to a doctor is because he is the professional and the expert. And it's difficult to us to second guess what he's actually doing.
And most doctors do a damn good job anyway.
No question about
and
that.
And the Patterns of Practice Committee seems to work quite well.
They review the patterns of practice, not the specific treatment of the doctor, but the style of his practice.
Go ahead from Cranbrook.
Yes, these doctors' comments that they say they wouldn't have the right to live where they want to. In fact, at the coast is where most of them want to stay. That's correct, but neither does the logger, the miner, or the construction worker. They have to go where the job is, and I don't think the doctor should be any different than anybody else.
Or the engineer, or the lawyer, or any professional. If there's no work in Vancouver, you go somewhere else.
Correct. And I also didn't like the comment that the one doctor made that the costs and the quality and that the welfare, the pensioners, etc., were a public nuisance. He said, we'll always have to look after them. I thought that was a very unprofessional attitude for a doctor to take.
Fair enough. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Mr. Webster, Mr. Nielsen. I recently spent some time in Lionsgate Hospital and also in St. Paul's Hospital. Mr. Webster had two members of the medical profession on the other day, and one of the callers was inquiring as to why patients or members of the plan can't get statements from either the BC medical plan explaining the calls and the type of care that was given to them. I've since received my bills from both Lionsgate and St. Paul's, and they in turn spell out to me where my cost was $850 a day, but the actual cost from the government was up in the thousands of dollars. Now, my second point is that the cardiologist that was looking after me, I won't mention his name, but that was looking after me in North Vancouver, would call me into his office and have me make an appointment just to go in to pick up a prescription. Now, this to me sounds ridiculous. My general practitioner, if I need a prescription refilled, he would just phone it in to Shoppers Drug Mart or whoever I was using, and I would get my prescription that way. The cardiologist insisted that I actually go to his office to pick the prescription up. Could you explain that, please?
Well, I can offer you an explanation which may or may not fit your case. Many doctors feel it's necessary to personally see the patient before prescribing a certain drug that could have a certain reaction on that patient. And even though they have prescribed that drug before, many doctors feel it's necessary to have a look at your patient to see if there's any adverse reaction to that prescription, rather than just refilling it over the phone. So I think it is quite legitimate, particularly in a heart case, where the doctor may pick up certain signs or symptoms from the patient where he knows that prescription is having an adverse effect. So I wouldn't criticize him for that.
Thanks for your call, old boy. Bye. Let's get down to Jim Nielsen and the issue about the capping of the doctor's incomes. We're not conducting an examination of the hospitals this morning, although the questions were good, after the break. Here's a question I've got to ask on behalf of 2.5 million people. How can a doctor in general practice bill $500,000 a year under our plan?
With a tremendous amount of effort, obviously, with a tremendous amount of effort. Jack, I don't know, I can't use myself as an example, but I could use you, knowing your background and your personality. If you were in a situation where you were paid by the items, you might decide you're going to work 20 hours a day for 5 years and just keep socking it away and socking it away and socking it away. If it's available to you, why not? Some people would do that.
Well, I can tell you why not, because if I were doing that, even with my incredible physique, energy, vitality, and whatnot, I would not be delivering my top-grade product all the time. I couldn't. 20 hours a day for 5 years.
Pretty
But
tough.
that's the kind of thing that really boggles the mind of the average person in British Columbia?
Very few doctors' wives will believe a doctor can do that.
Go ahead, please.
Mr. Nielsen, why is it that many of these patients are allowed to use the system? For instance, in some of the acute care hospitals, patients are being admitted through emergency that are alcoholics when they should be sent to the detoxification center.
You're talking about misuse of hospital beds.
Patient is admitted to a hospital by a doctor.
And that's it. Go ahead, please.
Mr. Nielsen, I'd just like to ask a question, and then I'll hang up the answer. Could you tell me, do the doctors pay user fees to the hospital for all the instruments, etc., that they use, which are provided by the hospital? And if not, why not?
Doctors may have some of their own, tools, but generally no. The equipment is supplied by the hospitals, as are the operating room, as is the nurse support staff, just as the classrooms are provided to the teachers and the universities are provided to the professors, and other social programs. We don't charge people for the equipment.
Go ahead, please.
I have to ask Nielsen what he really thinks an average doctor should earn in a year, because if you take that $500,000 for, 19 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you cut that down to 9 or 8 hours a day, that's $250,000 a year. And you take that back to a 40-hour week, and you're still talking $175,000 a year.
What's the average gross revenue for a doctor in the most recent year, Mr. Nielsen?
General practitioner in BC averages about $128,000 gross a year.
Specialist?
Specialist about $166,000.
What about these medical labs?
What?
Do we get a fair deal from these medical labs?
There has to be some review on the labs, because there's technology sometimes overtakes procedure, Jack, and where you negotiated a certain cost for a test at some time when there was a lot of manual work may be done now with a machine, and they can move it along much faster. So we have to review whether the costs should be as they were before. Medical lab tests are very, very costly because there's so many of them, and the technology is there to test.
And of course, doctors are more nervous than they used to be about negligence suits, so they're not. They'll give you lots of tests, and properly so, as far as I'm concerned, for me, to be on the safe side.
They cover off most things because of malpractice suits in the United States.
Go ahead from Lumbee, British Columbia.
Good morning. What about people who are covered by welfare MSP? Are we not allowed to choose our own doctors and specialists, even if it means going to Vancouver or other large centers? Most doctors will not refer out of the area, and we are not getting the help we are happy with here. Sometimes travel expenses are needed through welfare and are being refused.
Good point.
Well, travel expenses are not an insured benefit. You certainly go to the GP of your choice, and he refers you to a specialist. And if you don't wish to have that specialist, presumably you can ask that GP to refer you to another specialist.
But if you're a welfare case in a small town in BC, you're in a tougher situation because you haven't got the money to travel.
Well, Jack, if you live in a small town in BC, you're going to have a limited amount of specialists available unless you wish to travel.
Go ahead, please.
Yes, Mr. Webster, I'd just like to make an observation that I feel that by capping doctors' fees, what you're doing is making them, in effect, a part of the bureaucracy. In other words, they're no longer operating as they would in a free enterprise system.
They're not operating in a free enterprise system.
Say that again, Jim.
They're not operating in a free enterprise system. Their fees are paid through a government plan.
That's fine, but by capping their fees, sir, in effect...
By reducing the fees at some point in time. Capping the budget.
To earn an income in a free enterprise system as free enterprisers.
They're not free enterprisers.
They're part of the bureaucracy.
No. They're not free enterprisers. They're employed by themselves, if you like, but their payments come out of a government-funded program and premium-funded program. So it isn't as though they hang up a shingle and say, I'm a doctor, I get patients, and I charge you for my service. That isn't the system at all. But it doesn't modify that. All we're suggesting, if we do put a cap on, is that they will not receive 100% of payment at a certain time in the year.
If they go over the odds.
If they go over the budget. And that's got nothing to do with their patterns of practice, their freedoms, or any other thing. Doesn't change a thing. They get paid less.
I respectfully suggest that you are limiting their potential income.
No.
Yes, you are.
Oh, no. Yeah, we're limiting their potential income, yes.
You're capping it.
Yeah, we're capping the global budget. But, Jack, as I said...
as a matter of fact, give me a moment for this. What your really secret plan is...
I don't have a secret plan.
What your secret plan is that when you cap it, when you freeze it at $850 million, suddenly the GPs will think, that Fink specialist is billing $380,000 and I'm only billing $140. Let's get down the specialist fees a bit to make more for the GPs. You're going to cause dissension and rivalry between the various groups within the BC Medical, wouldn't you?
Let me write that down. That's I never thought of that, Jack. I noticed Norman Rigby mentioned that the other day, that there could be infighting with the doctors. I don't want doctors to fight with anyone.
But you wouldn't mind the infighting if it brought down the overall costs within the capping.
You mean internal discussion?
Yes.
Yes, well, that's always good.
Infighting.
Oh, internal discussion. That's always very, very good.
Dissension.
But, Jack, at the moment, if I were billing $500,000 as a doctor and you were billing $100,000, you might not like me billing $500,000, but if it's not coming out of your pocket, why make a noise?
Because I think if there's only 600,000 in total, I want 100.5 and you only get 400.5.
That's very different then. That's not the system as it is today.
All right, let's...
That's a good thought. I'll ask my officials to consider that.
One final question. Let's cut away all the nonsense, all the BS. Is it not a fact that the doctors in British Columbia, in every way, are in effect operating under a socialist plan?
Sure. Basically. Basically, the plan is a socialist plan.
And here you're a good social creditor, free enterprise, and operating a socialist plan.
It operates to spite myself.
And your firm decision is there will be a global capping of what the doctors get, and all you want now is a formula by which they shall divvy it up.
I certainly anticipate some point in time we will have a capping mechanism in place in BC, yes.
Another time we'll do the hospitals at all. My thanks to Jim Nielsen, the Minister of Health in the Government of British Columbia. Next, thank God, Katie Klein. Katie Klein, Katie Lang. Smile, Katie, smile, laugh, laugh. Ha, 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 ha.
Talk for a bit, then show it, and then come back to it. Okay.
Stop the one on the one to get off. Thank you.
Things change. 15 seconds, coming back.
I was always a fan of Western music anyway. I've got a favorite cowboy song that K.D. Lang doesn't know. If they don't have Mogen David in heaven, who the hell wants to go? And I think that was the Gatlin brothers. But this girl here, K.D. Lang, I'm told it's the hottest thing in punk country. Is that right?
Well, I've been labeled country punk, but I think it's basically just because of my appearance and living in the 80s and having an attitude of the 80s, but I don't really think I'm country punk. I'm more country than anything.
I'm sure you are, but I've got one very good film star friend who believes in reincarnation. Do you know who it is?
Shirley MacLaine.
Yeah. She's weird, though.
Well, we all are, in a way.
Are you weird?
Of course.
When did you first discover you were the reincarnation of Patsy Cline?
Well,
I mean, 63, she was killed in a plane crash.
Right, and I was born in 61, but I don't think our calendar of time has any relevance to spiritual matters, really. I think I discovered it slowly. It was about 2 or 3 years ago when some reoccurring things happened. And I believe it more and more every day.
I don't know if I'm the reincarnation of anybody, but I have a subconscious wish to be the reincarnation of, you know, people whom I might greatly admire. What kind of things made you believe it, though? Did she speak to you?
Yes, she's spoken to me. I've also had reoccurring dreams of plane crashes when I was younger, which I just sort of fit together about a year ago. The thing is, reincarnation in the dictionary is defined as to continue to live. Now, I don't believe that she dies and she comes back as me. I believe that she continues to do her work through me, as well as other people. I don't believe that I'm the only person she lives through.
In other words, you're a reincarnation of a wee bit of Patsy Cline's singing talent, mental processes, and whatnot.
Right.
Eh?
Right.
I don't know who I am. Do you have any idea who I might be?
I'd be afraid to even think of it,
Would
Jack.
you? But you are bizarre.
Thank you.
I love your boots. Tell me about your boots. Put up your boots. Oh, these are just smashing. She got them in the Salvation Army. You got that camera on it. You got tickly feet?
No. I've got 2 pairs of socks on.
Holes in the soles. This is, because you're worth money now. This is just a gag.
What do you mean, a gag? These are the best dancing boots available.
Why don't you get them sold?
Well, see, that is a heavy question, because you can't just resole things that easily.
Can you not?
No, it's a very,
How long have you had them?
These boots?
Uh-huh.
3 years.
What did you pay for them?
Nothing. They were given to me by a Polish farmer.
In Poland or in
No,
the
in
Prairies?
Consort, Alberta.
In Consort, Alberta?
Yeah.
Tell me, your family, are they all a wee bit weird and bizarre, too?
My siblings are. My parents are rather
Square.
not square. They're liberal for Albertans, but
Tell you what we'll do now.
okay.
We're going to turn MTV for a minute. Where's the monitor? And we're going to play one of your videos. What's it called? Hanky Panky. What does hanky panky mean?
Rolling in the hay.
At this time of the morning. It was terrific. Did you write Hanky Panky?
Yes, it was co-written with a couple of the members in my band.
Because it's reclines.
Yeah.
Did you bring your guitar? Oh, just a minute. I knew you were weird, but not that weird. I've seen your boots. There's no glass in your glasses.
They're psychic lenses, Jack.
They're what?
Psychic lenses.
What, pray tell me, my dear young lady, is a psychic lens?
Right, right here.
What do you mean, psych?
I don't know. It's just
a gag.
Yeah, well, not a gag.
Love
Jack.
your haircut.
Thank you.
Just beautiful.
I got wild with the scissors last night.
If they charge you more than $1.50 for that, you're getting robbed. Now, just a minute. It's my request.
Okay. What?
My request just now.
I have to sing you a request?
Yeah, I'm going to make a request to you. I want a Patsy Cline song.
You do?
I want you to do Patsy. What were you going to do?
I was going to do a song I wrote about the subject of reincarnation.
Oh, I'd rather have that.
Well,
So-
that's what I thought.
What's the title of it?
It's, gee, I haven't named
I'm
it yet.
coming back again.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to call it I'm Coming Back Again. Can you hear me, everybody? It's out of tune, but that's good. Atop the state of Tennessee in 1963, an angel gained her wings. There's hundreds just like me who knows through us she's living, and still she sings. I'm crazy thinking that you've left us. I'm crazy for thinking you've gone. For I know that you've blessed us, with every song. And she sang, please help me, I'm falling from the sky. But as she was she did fly. Please help me, I'm falling.
That was great. That was just terrific. That was really nice.
Oh, I'll get out of here.
No, 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 no. That came from your dream.
Well, yeah.
It did kind of, didn't it?
Yeah.
And as she was falling, she...
Up she did fly, yeah. I've had a few dreams like that.
You're an incredible person. When did you first start to strum a guitar?
I started playing guitar when I was about 11 years old. That wasn't a very good demonstration. It was really out of tune, but...
Yeah, but it was a great song.
Thank you.
You're fantastic. Take a break and come back. Will we take calls? Calls to K.D. Lang. What are you playing in town?
We're playing the Club Soda till Wednesday night included, and then we're playing the Caribou Pub in Coquitlam to Thursday to Saturday.
Club Soda's on Homer.
Yeah.
Not far from CKLG Studios, as I
Right.
recall.
Right.
Great stuff. We'll take some calls.
Sure.
Go ahead. What do you think of K.D. Lang?
Hello, Miss Lang.
Yeah.
There's three things I know a little bit about. One's guitar playing.
Yeah.
One's singing.
Yeah.
And the other one's history of music.
Yeah.
I've seen you a couple times, and I think you're great.
Thank you.
You're doing a real good job for the people who wrote those songs and for yourself to sing the songs you're writing now. I think it's fantastic.
Thank you.
This is a fan club. Go ahead, please, to K.D. Lang.
Katie Lang, I think you're beautiful. The music's great, and I hope that everything goes well for you. And you know that it's Cold Turkey Day tomorrow, and I hope if you do smoke that you quit along with the rest
She
of us.
doesn't smoke.
No, I don't smoke at all.
She doesn't drink either.
That's good.
Very minimally.
You drink a little bit.
A little bit.
Well, I hope all the best for you in the new year, and it sounds great. I hope I can get out and see you at the Caribou this weekend.
Well, thank you very much. I hope you make it.
Go ahead from Oliver to K.D. Lang.
Hello, yes, I'm just calling from Oliver, and I'd like to say something about this reincarnation business. I find myself as a musician that other people do work through me as well, but...
Go on.
Yes, but...
Who works through you? I want to know who works through you.
People like Mick Jagger, stuff like that. You know, I've...
You're having trouble. Somebody's working through you now and confusing
there's
your
a bit of a
mind.
lag here. Anyways,
Well, turn down your television sound. And that's a reincarnation of Webster telling you you're stupid if you leave your television sound up. 7-second delay.
yes, Mick Jagger, something like that.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know if I'm actually the, reincarnation, but I can see these things working through me as well, and I'd like to just say that, it's a little bit far for me to go to say, that it's actual reincarnation, but I do feel other people working through me as well.
Good.
Good.
You feel that. Only
it up.
Patsy Kleiner.
No. No, not at all. But she was the one that coherently took away my inhibitions to sing country music.
Did you ever have inhibitions?
A little bit about country and western music, because the bugaboo of being an intelligent musician wasn't in country music. I mean, country music wasn't considered a really intelligent form of music, but with Patsy, I sort of went past that stage and began to realize that it was white North American blues, and I felt the freedom to sing it with all integrity.
I think it's old Scotch and Irish songs converted from the Deep South into country music. It did so too. They're all the same.
I believe you.
Why do you walk like Groucho Marx when you're on stage?
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe I'm Groucho Marx reincarnated.
No, I don't think so. He hasn't been gone long enough yet to be around there. Go ahead from Duncan.
Yes, I'd just like to say that I think she's absolutely fantastic. It's about time someone's incorporated country and a little bit of new wave to start appealing to the younger crowds again. And as far as it not being an intelligent music, I think it's one of the most heartful musics that anyone could possibly listen to.
I agree with you.
One thing I'd like to say, I don't know if I'm a little bit psychic or not, but I think that one of these days you and Willie Nelson will be having a little duo there.
Oh, well, I hope so.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Katie.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm Wing Ding Daddy-o.
You sound really great. I want to ask you something. Where do you buy your shirts?
Oh, I bought this at a second-hand shop.
Oh, good for you. Well, keep up the good work. Have you made any recordings yet?
Yeah, we have an album out called The Truly Western Experience. It's available at sort of independent record stores in Vancouver.
Did you bring a copy of it?
No, I believe you have one somewhere around the station.
Haddon had one, but he lost it.
Well, Don, how could you?
Truly Western Experience.
Yep.
Well, good luck, Katie. We'll see you at the Caribou.
You betcha.
Thank you. Well, you got a good crowd at the Caribou. If all the Webster's listeners are there, you'll get at least 20 people. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Jack. Good morning, Katie. It's sure good to see someone having fun with their music. Katie, do you belong to any songwriters associations?
Yes, I belong to KPAC.
KPAC. You don't belong to PSA or anything like that?
No, just KPAC.
Hanky Panky. Did you write that yourself?
Yeah.
That's a good one. Do you write all your own songs?
I write some. It's sort of difficult to write all the time when you're channeling 3 or 4 hours of energy every night to keep the creative juices happening, but I'm starting to write a little bit more.
Anything else, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Katie. We'll see you this weekend at the booth.
Okay.
The booth seems to be popular. Don't forget the Club Soda downtown on Homer. Go ahead, please.
Hi, Jack. How are you?
Good.
Katie, first of all, I think you're a really neat person. And I was just going to say, 2 questions. How much do you think your lack of, say, conventionality is really, do you think that's more helped or hindered your career? And secondly, where do you get the inspiration for most of your songs? I've always wondered where it comes from.
Okay, first of all, I don't think I'm hindered at all by my unconventionality because it's not contrived. It's all natural, and I think if you present yourself with integrity and without being contrived, I think you'll be successful. Secondly, I write my compositions basically about society and society's problems and solutions towards that, or how I feel solutions.
You're a social commentator.
Yeah, in a way, in a polite way.
And as a matter of fact, that's why we get on so well, because I'm a social commentator too, not always in a polite way.
I've heard.
And I could have been a country singer too.
I bet you could have. Do you want to sing a tune? I'll play.
I have a great tune that I could sing, but you couldn't follow me.
Oh, well.
Maybe you could.
Maybe.
Maybe we should.
Maybe we should.
Maybe it'd be the start of we could make $1 million together.
Your ratings would probably go
No, I can't
high.
sing Hard to Be Humble, but I can sing one of my own, which she can strum to. Will you do it for me?
Yep.
After the break.
Okay, after the break.
Every girl wants someone who she can always look into. You know I love you, of course. Let me know that you're the boss. So don't try to get angry, try to get mad. Give me the biggest.
You got 2 6s and a 5 for the winter carnival.
We'll do 70 and 4 to it, count.
No, you got 2 6s and a 5.
Oh, the 2
Yeah,
sixes.
because you did 5 in the
I have a 2 6s and a 5.
You can do
And do what I like.
Okay, Jack, let's go over this now. I'm nervous about this.
There was an old man and he had a wooden leg.
What key are you in?
I don't know. Why do we do it this way on here? There was an old man and he had a wooden leg. Had no tobacco could he beg. Now that old man was as sly as a fox. He had tobacco in his old tobacco box. Said the first old man, will you give me a chew? Said the second old man, I'm dashed if I do. Save up your money and keep off the rocks, and you'll always have tobacco in your old tobacco box. There was an old man. I've got to keep that. I'll lose it, you see. There was an old man. That's it. When are we going? When are we going? Lose it.
We should, we better tell them that we're gonna start.
This is my chance for stardom with Katie Lang, and I'm going to sing an old Webster family song. Came from my great-grandfather or his father when they were running guns to South Carolina on a paddle steamer during the Civil War. And it goes like this, unrehearsed. There was an old man and he had a wooden leg, had no tobacco could he beg. Another old man was as sly as a fox. He had tobacco in his old tobacco box. Said the first old man, will you give me a chew? Said the second old man, and dashed if I do. Save up your money, keep off the rocks, and you'll always have tobacco in your old tobacco box.
Oh, Jack! That was too good.
We got it made. We got it made.
Do you think I could maybe do that one in my show? Or?
Sure, great one. Terrific.
Jack, you amaze me.
I'm inspired by you, Katie.
Well,
That's it.
it's mutual.
I'm the reincarnation of Johnny Cash, but he's not gone yet, is he? No. Go ahead to Katie Lang.
Hi, I'd just like to ask Katie what she likes to listen to in her spare time, and if her album is getting any airplay across Canada.
I like to listen to K-Tel's greatest hits. I like to listen to jazz. I listen to a lot of old country music. And I listen to what's happening on the alternative scene. So I try to keep my ears wide open. The album is doing actually very well for an independent release. It's being played all the way from Victoria to St. John's, so we're really happy.
And you can buy it in Vancouver at the Black Swan Record Shop.
And Zulu and Odyssey and
Zulu, Odyssey,
ABC, places like that.
Places like that.
Okay, great, thank you.
Go ahead, please.
Hello.
Hi.
Katie and Jack, I'm enjoying the show this morning a lot, and I wish you all the best, Katie, in your career, and I'm really glad you're out there doing your music.
Thank you.
Very much.
Smashing. Go ahead, please.
Katie, I think you're shinier than Webster.
I'm what?
Shinier than Webster.
Shinier than Webster.
Yes, I think.
I should hope so. She's 50 years younger than Webster.
Charms TV set.
What did you say?
Charms the TV set.
TV set. Is it?
Well, I hope we'll see you at the Blue Pub this week.
Okay, I hope so too.
Congratulations and everything, and I hope it goes well for you.
Thank you.
All right.
Tell you something, all kinds of people are calling me this morning who've never called this program before because of you, and that's great. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. You were terrific, Jack. And I was just going to speak to Katie about spiritualism. She claims that she might be a reincarnation of this other lady. I think probably what she is that this other lady is her guide.
Oh, definitely. Definitely, that's part of it.
Reincarnate, unless the person passes on.
Mm-hmm.
So she's probably your material guide, or maybe even your master guide, and she's guiding you.
Right, along with others.
Hmm?
Along with others.
Yes, we all have more than one, but
yeah.
I think she probably is your influence in your career.
Definitely.
Does this make you a spiritualist, Katie?
Definitely.
Oh, yes, she definitely is. I will ask, and if I get the answer, I'm going to Seattle tomorrow. I'll phone Webster and tell him.
Just a minute. You're going to Seattle tomorrow to go to a seance with a good medium.
Well,
is that right?
Something like that.
And you're going to ask that medium who Katie Lang's guide is.
Ask her if what's this other lady, Katie?
Patsy Cline.
Patsy Cline is her master,
Would you do me a favor, will you, when you're in Seattle, will you ask who my guide is?
I can it's pretty difficult to get all the questions in, but if I can, I will phone you and give it to you, Jack.
That's great.
Funny. Is that great?
Yeah, that is great.
I'm not so sure. I might not want to know who my guide is.
Well.
I mean, it might be some old political fink whom I don't like. Go ahead, please.
Hello, Kate and Jack.
Yeah.
How are you today?
Fine.
Fine. I'm sort of inspired in Vietnam music and lyrics-wise. I was wondering what Katie thinks of that.
Thinks about Vietnam?
Oh, just music about it.
Oh, well, I think that there's no better way to talk about it than in music. It soothes the savage beast, as they say.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Katie. Welcome to Vancouver. This is Marianne's mother, Marianne in Edmonton, who does...
Oh, yeah, hi.
I heard that this young lady was coming to Vancouver, and I couldn't imagine that it would be any kind of production that I would be interested in.
Oh, well.
You were going to get a group of the over 60s together to go to the Caribou. Welcome.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
That's my masseuse's mother.
Your masseuse? You have a masseuse?
You bet.
Why do you need a masseuse?
She's the best. Tension, Jack. It's not easy being a performer.
The old back of the neck bit.
Yeah.
The tension. Full-time masseuse?
Yep.
Go ahead, please.
What a relief after Jim Nielsen.
Yes. What a pleasant change.
Pleasant change. Listen, is the video available, or is it just a promo video?
It's just a promo video as of yet.
Bad. That's too bad. My grandkids would love it.
Because that's a real catchy one.
Yeah.
Well, it's hokey.
It's great.
Hokey,
Thank you.
It's called Hokey Hanky Panky, and it's catchy.
Yeah.
And what does K and D? What do K and D stand for?
My real name, Catherine Dawn.
D-O-N?
D-A-W-N.
That was difficult. Catherine Dawn Lang. Let's do another few minutes of phone calls to K.D. Lang after the break.
Way up and all.
On that videotape, it said he asking a question of K.D. Lang, who has no glass in her glasses and has got holes in the soles of her boots, but is nevertheless on the border of being Canada's hottest song property, correct?
Well, that's what they say.
That videotape you played, Hanky Panky, is terrific.
Thank you.
Can people not buy that? If not, why not?
I don't really know because I'm just getting started in this business, but it's used for promotion only right now. I imagine you'll be able to buy it
In
sometime.
due course.
I don't know, yeah.
Because there's a lot of videotape MTV stuff being done out of the West Coast and in Vancouver, I do believe. Do you know a guy called Bruce Allen?
Yeah.
Old friend of mine, Bruce. He and I used to share an office almost. Nearly belted him once a day.
Yeah.
You know the fellow,
Yeah,
don't you?
I know Bruce. I don't know him personally, but...
Yeah, well, when you meet him, don't give him my regards. Go ahead to K.D. Lang.
Good morning, Katie and Jack. I just wanted to say I immensely enjoyed your duet, and how's about an encore?
No, no more encores.
No.
I'm sung out.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
And Katie's played out. Go ahead, please.
Hello, good morning, Katie.
Good morning.
I'd just like to say I was at your show on the Commodore on Saturday.
Oh, great.
Wing Ding Daddy-O.
Thank you.
And I'd also like to compliment your band. I think they're fantastic, and they're going to take you a long way.
Oh, thank you. I love the boys, and I couldn't think of a better four men to work with than those.
Are they also from Consort, Alberta?
No, they all live in Edmonton. We all live in Edmonton, Alberta right now.
You're very bright for prairie people.
Thank you.
It's really quite, it's great. Go ahead, please.
Hi, Katie, it's Grace, and I just wanted to ask you if you really liked the dress that we gave you at the Savoy.
Oh, yes, it's beautiful.
And I just wanted to compliment your band on being really tight and really good.
Thank you. They'd be happy to hear that.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Hi, Katie. How you doing?
I'm fine, and you?
Oh, terrific, terrific. Glad to see you in Vancouver. Glad to see such a vivacious character on the stage. I really enjoy knowing that you're so tied up with co-op radio.
Well, I try to promote independence,
Yeah, that's great. I'm all for it.
I'm going to go down and do a piece of co-op radio one of these days.
Sounds good.
We're going to do a walkabout at co-op radio on the 24th to meet all these strange and unusual characters of distinctive characteristics, of whom you are apparently one from time to time. Is that correct?
Probably.
Answer the question, witness.
True.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Two.
Yes.
You're two of them. You're not one of them. You're two of them.
I'm more than two.
Go ahead, please.
Hello, KD. You are truly...
Western experience?
I was at your concert at the Commodore on Saturday,
And I was curious about your living artwork in the background there.
Oh, my go-go dancer.
Yeah, maybe you could explain that a bit.
From which point of view are you coming from?
From which point of view am I coming from?
Yes. Are you a feminist?
Am I a feminist?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Oh, that makes a difference because some people want to know the art side of her and some people want to know the political side of her. She's
The art and the feminist go a little bit together, so.
Oh, well, that's exactly what it's all about. It's a joke, and she's wonderful, and she adds a little bit of bizarreness to the show, and I love her.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, well, we'll catch you at Club Soda tonight.
Great.
Thank you. How many shows do you do at Club Soda at night?
We do 3 sets.
3 sets. Starting at what time? 7 o'clock?
10 o'clock till 2.
10 till 2. 7 o'clock. What an old square. Go ahead, please. Hello.
Hello.
That's you, ma'am.
Okay, way to go, Katie.
Pardon me?
Way to go.
Oh, thank you.
Climbing fast.
Yes.
Climbing fast.
Did I see Marianne in one of those pictures?
Yes, you did.
I'm her auntie.
You are?
Huh? Walter's sister.
Well, hello.
Walter's sister, Mary Ann's auntie.
Yeah, well,
And she's in the video.
she was the go-go dancer, too.
Oh, go-go dancer behind the screen.
Yeah.
The live art.
Hi.
Hi.
Hope to see you before you go back.
I hope so, too.
Everybody listens to Webster. Go ahead, please.
Oh, Jack.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I think you should have more guests like KD on the show because I've never seen you look happier or healthier today. You know, it's a lot better than all your political foes that you get on.
You sit here for years as I've done and speak to some of these people that I have to deal with, and you'd be in your coffin 6 feet under.
You would.
But Katie Lang's been a great fun this morning. Katie, best of luck with the Truly Western Experience. Best of luck at the Club Soda. Get to meet MTV on the MTV channel. And I'll be able to say I knew you just before you made it
Thanks,
really
Jack.
big. Thanks very much, KD. More light-hearted stuff with Carnival Queen, I think, from Vernon. I hope I've got the right town. Have I got the right town? After the break. Doesn't seem right that I'm not screaming at anyone. Haven't been since 11:15. And I have a collection of beautiful women. Well, 2 beautiful women and a clown. And the introductions will be done by Marie Morris, who is chairman of the Vernon Winter Carnival Society. Introductions, please.
Thank you very much, Jack. We have this morning with us Joanne Timku, Queen Silver Star, the 24th. Nice to meet you. And Joe Pat.
Hello, Joe. How do you spell Pat?
Joe Pat.
Oh, Joe Pat
Joe
is
Pat
a...
doesn't talk.
Oh, you're a dummy. You certainly look like a bleeding dummy. You
She
can't-
represents our
She can, in
spirit.
fact, talk. Now, name again, please.
Joanne Timku.
Timku. Spell
Yes.
Timku.
T-Y-M-K-I-W.
T-I-M.
T-Y-M.
K-I-W.
Yes.
That's a funny name, Joanne, isn't it? Hey, when were you appointed, when were you crowned as queen?
Last year, February 1st.
This is the first time I've met you.
That's right.
You're quite beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
Just 18?
Yes.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'10".
How heavy are you?
Heavy enough.
How heavy are you? Wait, you're 124 pounds.
A little bit more.
126 pounds.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Around
far
there.
off, was
That's
I?
right. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Which school did you go to?
I went to Vernon Senior Secondary.
And what are your plans for your future after you're deposed as queen next year?
I'm going to go to Langara College
And learn?
to be a journalist.
Oh, another pretty face. If Kevin Bell sees you this morning, he'll hire you tomorrow. Yeah, that's quite impressive, it really is. No point in talking to you, is there? None at all. I don't like you. You're stupid. I'm going to hit you. No. She's, well, who is she really?
Really?
Yeah, really. Just
Really?
so that her mother knows she's been on the telly. I mean, because even her mother wouldn't recognize Joe Pat.
Oh, we don't like to
You're not going to give it a
tell.
name. All right, Marie, tell me all the plans for the Vernon Winter Carnival.
This year, we're celebrating our 25th anniversary, And we've got lots of special things. We're lighting special flares to run all through Carnival. And we've set up a history display, which we're taking up and down the valley.
Go on.
And we have about 100 events that we wish everybody would come and visit us from the 1st of February until the 10th of February.
1st of February till the 10th of February, 25th Vernon Winter Carnival. Is this largely skiing?
No. There is an over-the-hill, downhill race that goes on, but there are a lot of other events. That
Well,
go
all
on.
kinds of things, aren't there?
There's about 100 events. We've divided it into family events and junior events, sporting events.
The coronation of the Queen, when's that?
That's on Friday, February the 1st.
Winter Carnival racquetball and squash tournament. I could win that for the over 65s.
I'm sure they've got a category for you. We wish you'd come and visit us.
Is there any opportunity I shall have to have breakfast with Joe Poe and Joe Pett?
Oh, for sure.
Where?
For sure. At the Village Green Mall in Vernon.
Pappy's Restaurant. Who is Joe Poe?
Joe Poe? That's Joe Pett's male counterpart.
Oh, are they engaged or otherwise detached?
They always travel together except for this occasion.
Do they have a thing going?
Yes.
Joe Poe and Joe Pett?
Yeah.
I see. You want to tell me about Joe Poe now? Gosh, you're stubborn. Now, what are you going to be doing apart from being crowned? Are you going to appear at everything?
No, I've been crowned. I reigned over last year's Winter Carnival, and they pick a new queen actually this Saturday, and then I'm gone.
You have something there for me, I do believe.
Yes,
What
this
is it?
is a mug for you on
And it
behalf of the
says-
Vernon Winter Carnival,
Vernon Winter Carnival, 1 mug for Webster.
and this is for your grandchild.
This is for wee Bobby
That's right.
in Kamloops. Bobby's at school, I suppose, at the moment. Why did you bring a wee one for Bobby?
Well, because last year we brought him a toque.
That's right.
That's right.
Took for me, and we're still wearing the toques, same the blue and white toques as that. Now, 25 years, you say. Do you make money on this, or does the city put up money to help you?
We try to break even on this. The service clubs donate part of their earnings when they have events.
And you try to break even.
And we have marvelous corporate sponsors.
Well, Joanne, Tim Q, T-Y-M-K-I-W, well, you. Marie, thank you
Thanks
very much.
again.
Best of luck for I hope everybody who can go does go. Lots of accommodation, lots of fun, lots of snow.
We have snow this year, yes.
And that's important.
That's right.
Lots of luck in your future career.
Thank you very much.
See Cameron and Bell. I'll be back after break. And you'll always have tobacco in your old tobacco box.
Oh, Jack! That was too good.
We got it made.